Hey, so Bitwig has released Bitwig 6 and it adds a lot of new features that can drastically change your workflow. Automation clips, better editing, patterns, and even a key feature for the whole project. But does all of that make it a good update? Well, let's find out. Besides, there are already a lot of overviews for Bitwig 6, so today, besides showing you some of the new features, I'm also going to share many tips and tricks that you can use for these new features. So let's start. So first of all, we have some quality of life enhancements, or as they call it, high-level editing. For instance, one of my favorite new features is that when you select different clips or different tracks, you can see them all together in the track editor. This is a really nice way to go into detail when editing for specific moments of a song. So at least for me, this makes workflow even better now. Not only that, I also like that you can select different MIDI clips and you have all the MIDI together in the editor, color-coded depending on which MIDI clip the different notes correspond to. That way you can edit everything at the same time, which is very fast for workflow. Now, other thing that you can do with Bitwig is to actually minimize it and subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Seriously, that means everything to me, is the only thing I want from you, so thank you so much for doing it. So another new feature, this time seriously, are the patterns, or as they call it, the clip aliases. When you have different clips, it doesn't matter if it's audio or MIDI or even automation, you can group them together and they will have this little hook. Then when you edit one, you will actually be editing all the related clips. Not only that, if you create an empty clip, then you can right-click on it and select the pattern that will be applied to it. So yeah, I know what you're thinking. This is very similar on how FL Studio works. And as someone that comes from FL Studio, I may agree. But I gotta be honest, I got used to working without patterns now, so I have to relearn a new workflow if I want to use them. Maybe I won't use them at all. But it's anyway great to have this option. For now, there's one very useful thing that the patterns are good for, and that's when you have a full arrangement and you are working with little clips for loops, but then you want to change something that repeats over and over in the song. It had happened to me, for instance, in a drum loop, I want to use a hi-hat, but then when I have the song almost finished, I realized that I don't want the hi-hat, I want the ride. I don't know. So with the LSS, I just have to change one clip instead of going and duplicating it and rearrange everything. Before going to my favorite new feature, let's create a MIDI sequence for the next examples, sort of melody to play with a beat. And for that, let's take advantage of other of the new features that are also pretty fun to use. For instance, the spray. When you press Alt, you can spray notes all over the piano roll, giving you crazy sequences. Right now it's on the chromatic scale, but now you can select a scale for the whole project. And they make it so the piano roll stays on that selected scale, thanks to this icon right here. So if we click on it and we repeat the spray exercise, now each note is going to stick to the scale. Let me delete some notes so it's not so crazy. And this icon is also present on some note effects, for instance the key filter or the arpeggiator. So now you don't need the key filter if you're using the arpeggiator. Now, I find limiting to have the whole project in just one scale. I like to use sometimes a combination of melodic or harmonics minor scale with the natural minor. But you can actually program key changes within your music. So you have a lot of freedom with that. Still, if you're like me and you just want to change, I don't know, the 7th note of a minor scale to be a 7th major, just keep the chromatic, is easier, at least for me. Now for my favorite new feature, the automation clips. Basically an automation clip is, well, movement that you program and then you can duplicate it, move it around on the project and whatnot. Why is this different from a modulator? Well, you think more about arrangement rather than just modulation. You can use it in specific moments of a song and you can create complex and longer type of curves. But still, all of these new automation clips can be curves that you can apply as a modulator. It will load as segments. Or if you drag segments or curves into a project, you will have the same movement as a clip. By the way, I've been playing a lot with Bitwig 6 and I have made many experimental kind of projects. So if you're a patron or channel member, you can download them for free. This is for synth enthusiasts and higher tiers. Okay, but what you can actually do with the automation clips? Well, one neat and very simple trick that I have been using is to actually take advantage of the automation clips to create gates. Those gates can be used to activate effects or activate sounds or, well, activate almost anything. If you set the default automation line all the way down and you make a clip all the way up, then you can use that clip to control, for instance, the mix knob of an effect. As an example, right here I have it on a bit crusher. And actually, let's put a pitch shifter so we can have another type of glitchy effect. Let's touch the mix knob and add its automation lane. And now if we hold Control or Command, we can move the same automation clip to another lane. So you don't have to be programming this automation clip over and over again. You just have to duplicate it and move it around. This is also very useful for more traditional types of creative effects, for instance, a delay throw. That is using a delay only in a specific moment for a sound. You use the same MIDI clip, but this time on a send. In a way, automation makes movement a lot more complex and richer in a full arrangement. Besides making automation like this, you can actually draw a curve as you want. Now, right now, Bitwig 6 beta crashes on me when I create a complex curve very fast. I have to do it very slow. But anyway, for instance, in this example, what I'm doing is modulating this curve's speed. That way I have a stuttering effect that mutates all around. By the way, this preset is from a Bitwig preset pack that I'm finishing. Not only that, you can actually select the different automation points and then start spreading them to add randomization. Each time the clip is played again, the different points will have different heights. This is a very interesting way of creating randomness besides using random modulators. And finally, the spray is very useful to create this straight line kind of movement that before it was a little bit harder to set. Other than that, editing automation is so much easier now. You can move different points together around or just change the lines and, well, many other things that makes the workflow faster. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with the automation clip feature and with Bitwig 6 overall. This is a nice update. It doesn't introduce any new device yet, but it doesn't matter because it changes many things that are like quality of life, but that deserves a new number, so to speak. Now, this is still in beta. We just have to wait to see what else they add or they fix and change, but I liking where this is going. But as always, what's more important than my opinion is your opinion, so let me know in the comments what you think about Bitwig 6. Thank you so much for watching, I will see you next time, and bye bye.